I'm Jaclyn Johnson.
And I'm Marina Middleton.
And this is WorkParty, a podcast that's part work
and part party.
WorkParty celebrates a new generation of women who are redefining the meaning of work on their own terms and having fun while doing it.
In this podcast, we are diving into all the areas of being a working woman. Mind, body, and business. No topic is off limit.
Real talk and hot takes. Think of us as your internet work wives. This is WorkParty,
the podcast.
Wait, where's the champagne? Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of WorkParty. We are live in New York City.
I love this little road show that we're taking. We've been Austin, Palm Springs, LA,
probably,
New York, Brooklyn,
San Francisco, Napa Valley. No, I'm just kidding. I'm making it up.
Literally, but we
have
taking,
been everywhere.
It's been cool to take WorkParty on the road with us. We have some amazing guests that we have in this season of WorkParty, but yeah, New York has been amazing.
Yeah, you've been here 24 hours. You're thriving.
I'm excited for today's episode, though, because I feel like a lot has been happening in the world in general. And
today we're talking about negotiations.
Yeah.
Tactics. Tariffs.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. No, we're going to talk a lot about that. I think right now, even in our season of life, I feel like negotiation plays such a big part. And I don't know if many women get to talk about the different dynamics of negotiation when it comes to being a woman and trying to negotiate in business versus like a man negotiating in business. But then we see negotiation play in so many different aspects of our life, especially publicly now with tariffs and everything that's happening.
I think there's like two different kinds of negotiations. There are fair and friendly and feisty and fucked up. Just kidding. I don't know. I made that up. But I
do like that.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like sometimes you're just like, hey, I want to, this price versus that. And it's like, okay, well, here's why we keep that price. And here's why we need this price to be at this point. Understood. Here's why I need it to be lower. Cool. Let's meet in the middle. Those are my favorite negotiations because it's like fair for you, fair for me. We walk away. We're happy. The alternative is just like this really intense back and forth that feels negative and shitty, I think, for everyone. And my experience, I would say primarily with those types of negotiation have been around talent and with men, just to be totally clear. I've had some rough negotiations with women, but like I would say 99% men. And I think it's one on the talent side, I think that's something that they're known for is like agents in general, whether it's like talent agents, things like that. Like they're just nasty to work with. And I feel like that's like the reputation they get, which I just think at this point, I'm like, guys, climate, we're all going to die soon. Like, just fucking come on. Like, let's just like make this a little bit easier.
Yeah. I feel like for me, and obviously like negotiation has always, like we negotiate all the time, but it's like before CNC, I felt like it was a lot of salary negotiation.
Yeah.
Brand negotiation when they want me as a creator and influencer, content like that. And I'm like,
you as talent? Oh, okay, wow.
Me as a talent, negotiation for the business, negotiation for sponsors, negotiation for brands. I do actually will tell you that like my experience with negotiation is a bit different because I rarely negotiate with men. I'm like always talking to women, whether they're from the sponsor side or the talent side. Every once in a while, obviously, I'm talking to like male agents or like VCs or private equity or like anything like that. And I just go into the negotiation completely different. I feel like I also am really good at negotiation because I love it. I genuinely love to negotiate.
Yeah, I will say like Matt, Marina's husband, I've been witness to some of these negotiation tactics. I think also you are a great negotiator. You're very tough though, like I would say. I just like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I'm just like, you know what, whatever. Yeah. But I love this about you because I do think it's a great asset that you have as a leader.
Yeah, and I thank you. And like definitely a lot of it did come from like watching Matt negotiate, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I lead it this way. But we also, for the Blueprint Mastermind 2 classes ago or last class, we partnered up with Goldman and we had an amazing speaker come and teach us a 90-minute class on negotiation.
Yeah.
And it was so amazing because it kind of affirmed the direction that I go into a negotiation. So like, I think, when you're listening to this and you want to know, okay, well, how do I how do I walk away with exactly what I want in a negotiation? You can't. Like, that's not a negotiation. You can't walk away with exactly what you want. You have to have, there's two sides. You figure out what they want, you figure out what you want, and you meet in the middle. And I think it's really important before you go into the negotiation to know what is like absolute bottom line
for you.
Exactly. For you, that you would walk away. And then what is best case scenario, and what you'll be willing to still feel like you're winning in that middle ground. But I think the hardest part about negotiation is knowing that you do have to walk away.
You have to be willing to walk. That's the number one rule in negotiation. If you don't have the number you want, you have to be willing to walk. If you aren't, you're done for.
Done for it.
End of the negotiation.
Yeah. And I've definitely lost my fair share of negotiations, and I'm like, where I have not walked away and I have moved, and I'm like, this sucks.
But you are always willing to walk. I'm always like, well, let's sit and let's just see. Let's see. But see, I'm also opportunity cost, because sometimes, like we talked about this, when the negotiation goes so long, you sometimes lose the opportunity to go in a different direction because you've lost time.
Yeah.
So I think time is of the essence in negotiations. You got to move quickly. Otherwise, they just drag the fuck out and you lose your leverage, which is like important. You got to go into negotiation with leverage. 2, your bottom line, I think, is super important in what you're willing to walk away from. And if it is not that, you have to walk. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And then 3 is like, what's the best case scenario that you guys can get to where you both feel like it's a win. But there's nothing worse than having this like intense negotiation back and forth, and then the deal gets done, and then you're like, now I have to like be around this person. That
exactly.
I hate that. I just think that's so just to like go bring it into real world scenarios is like the tariffs, right?
Yeah.
They're affecting millions of small business owners. They're affecting people in the stock market. They're affecting literally everyone. And I say all that to say is like, everyone's like, why tariffs? Why this? And it's like, at the end of the day, this is a negotiation tactic on Trump's end to be able to bully, essentially, people into lowering, their taxes or whatever, their import-export, like sort of tariffs and things like that. Which, like, is the bullying tactic. And, like, there's 2 ways this goes. It works. And we all get lower tariffs, whatever, or it backfires. And I think it's like one of those things where that angle, again, what is the win for everyone? That this is not a win for everyone situation. This is a win for us or a loss for them. And like that, I feel like is the worst type of negotiation. Because beyond that, like there's also resentments and impact, obviously. Like, let's say like everything goes well with the tariffs, that we win, blah, blah, blah. These small business owners in the interim of these negotiations are getting, I've seen people post about shutting down their businesses and stuff because of this. So it's
I
awful.
think too that like people, the
collateral damage.
Yeah, but the difficult part about right now is how much uncertainty there is,
Totally.
right? And I think that that's kind of where people are taking action, deciding whether, hey, I'm not going to commit to this partnership. I'm not going to commit to this massive order that I'm going to order because I don't know how it's going to play out.
So one of the things that I was reading about is like, at the end of the day is like, we're not an industrial nation. Like we don't operate on manufacturing. We're not a manufacturing. If you have a manufacturing economy, like the faith of the stock and the status of that economy is based on the manufacturing output.
Give an example, like China.
Like China, exactly. Right. So U.S. consumer economy. Our economy is driven by consumers buying shit. Like that is what drives it. And the number one thing that matters in a consumer economy, confidence. If you have confidence in the economy, if you have confidence to buy that batch of products because you know that consumer's going to buy, because consumers are buying because they have money, because the stock market's up, because whatever. It's all about confidence, and that has been lost. Yeah. I think we've all like seen, if you have any money in the stock market, you've probably seen it plummet in the last like couple weeks. So all of a sudden you're like tightening the belt, pulling back, which affects all these companies in a bigger way. Obviously we're hearing about Apple flying in iPhones on like multiple planes because they don't want to have to pay the tariffs. If Apple's scared, like imagine like mom and pop shop and whatever, like totally. The trickle down is crazy. So I think that there's like a lot of impact. There's a lot of scared business owners and like trying to figure out what to do. I've seen a few girls post about adding like the tariff tax, like adding $6 to the orders at the end of it, just to kind of help them get through it. I've seen people kind of stay the course, and my friend Katie was a matcha brand out of Japan. Like she was like, I'm not changing my prices. I'm going to take the hit because I want to keep my customers happy and like keep them loyal. So it's like there's all these different ways you can do it, but the question is, and the uncertainty is how long is this going to last?
Totally. And I think because I'm not I don't know everything about what's going on. I like ask a lot of questions. And so I was asking Matt a couple days ago of like, if you voted for Trump, what, like, would you look at the situation and say, oh, this is great? And he was like, it's less about that. It's more about, it's a negotiation. So what happens is where we were from an economy wasn't amazing, and where we are now is very, very bad.
Worse.
And so we're trying to find a way where even if we get better than what we were before, it's better, right? It's like we're trying to find the way in the middle.
If the negotiation goes the way we want it to.
And so I was like, is there a chance that it doesn't? He was like, of course. Always.
Yeah.
And so he used the example of like just acquiring a business or anything. He's like, you go in and like, it could go bad, and it doesn't have to work out, but like if it does, great, because you're in a better situation than where you were. And so it was like helpful to understand that, but again, we see all of these different businesses that are impacted and are nervous to make decisions. So I love that you said confidence plays a big part of it, because whether it's tariffs or whether you're negotiating a brand deal, whether it's your salary, like going in with confidence, one, is so important, and being able to walk away is really, really important. And just understanding, again, your bottom line and are, I would say, like the most, like three most important things when you're thinking about negotiation.
Yeah, I do think it's hard to operate from confidence. So when you're in a scarcity,
when there's so uncertainty,
exactly. I know. So I don't know. It's tough. It's like it's a definitely us versus them mentality going into a negotiation versus a how do we all come out on top.
Yeah.
Which is like I prefer a how do we all come out on top, and you prefer a like I'm gonna walk away, drive them into the ground.
Yeah, no, like it is.
Rough.
Yeah,
you're so rough.
I am
love it.
definitely a tough.
I love that.
A tough negotiator, mainly because. And like right now, a lot of what Jaclyn's talking about is like whether it's, deals or business related. Yeah. I am willing to walk away because I know the value of what we have. And that's a big, big part. And it's like, I also like, if you don't understand the value, or you don't see the value, like, I don't really fuck with you. Like, I don't
Say, if you've personally been victimized by a Marina negotiation, please leave a comment.
But I am actually like very respectful and nice during the process. It's just, I'm just tough.
But you're tough but fair, I think is like a good way to put it. But I think you have to be in these situations to get what you want at the end of the day.
Recently, Matt was trying to buy a car, and listen, I'm a better negotiator than him. And it's funny because he was trying this like nice approach and like, or trying to be like, I don't know, like it was just not working out. And so I ended up being like, hey, I tried a different approach with my negotiation. And one of those approaches is not this like tough, I'm gonna like whatever, like walk away if you don't give me this, blah, blah, blah. I was just like kind of BSing a bit of just being like, hey, listen, we really want this. I want to surprise him with this car. And, here's the absolute lowest. The lowest number I gave was $300 lower than my lowest number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To get to that
number. I knew that they weren't going to ever give it to that number. Like, I'm just going to use fake numbers. Like, let's say I want 100, but really my lowest was 300, right? Yeah. And what happened? He came to the 300. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I know this really isn't where we wanted to land, but like, I am happy. So always think about like, how could you go lower?
Let me tell you about my car negotiation.
Yeah, tell me.
I went in. I was like, how much is full sticker? I'll take it. My dad was literally like, so my parents are in the car business. I call my dad and he's like, walk away. He's screaming on the phone, walk away. I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah. No, I remember when my dad bought me like my first car. He was trying to negotiate. I mean, the times were so different. I'm still very young, and it's not that long ago when I first got my car. When I was 16,
just a few years ago.
Just a couple years ago. No, but it literally, he was like negotiating like $20,000 less, and he was like walked away. And I mean, I remember being in the car crying, being like, no, Dad, like, I really want this car. It was like a Nissan Altima or something. It was so
iconic.
Cute. Yeah. And what did they do? They called him back.
Yeah.
In less than 24 hours. And I'm like, I
did negotiate free windshield cracking because that fucking always happens to me, and flat tire.
Wait, okay. Here's a story where it goes wrong. When I first got my car, like I was leasing a car 3 years ago, and I was again negotiating. Matt was like, at that point, he was like, I'm not coming with you if you want a new car. What a dick. Like, he's like, if you want a new car, you go by yourself and negotiate. And I'm like, okay. Like, what am
Yeah.
I going to be like, no, don't, like, you're not coming with me? Oh, no, I won't get a, no. I was like, okay, bet. So I went and I negotiated the shit out of this car and I felt so good. Now it's coming time to sign the papers. And they're like, hey, I had this like very light color seats. And they're like, we think you should pay, you know, it was like $500 to get the seat sealed. And I was like, these schmucks,
Not today.
Not
today.
you're not gonna get me. And so I decided not to get it. The second my jeans touched the leather, it changed colors. And I was like, no. I remember I went to like try to get it and they were like, no, it's upon like right before you drive away.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn it, I
should have done it.
But
this is so funny. My dad was so mad. He's like, why did you get the tire stuff? Literally week 1, blew the tire out. I was like, there we go. And those tires are freaking $1,000 or whatever for Range Rovers. But I was like, I gotta go. But yeah, no, sometimes I'm just exhausted. I did it for so long, you know? I just like was so intense for so long that I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
George at the car dealership, today's your lucky day.
Yeah.
Okay?
Our team is really funny when I try to like negotiate. I like tell them how to say it and then I'm like, after I say obviously much nicer than this. You don't say exactly what I just said.
Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, no, I think it's like it's a really great skill to have. I think at the end of the day, it is a crucial part of business. And I think I love the idea of women being tough negotiators. I think it's important.
You need it.
Yeah, gotta 100%.
Do it. Well, yeah. I love it. Biggest takeaways. Be able to walk away, know your bottom line, ask for lower than your bottom line, and see if you could hit that bottom line and try to have confidence in the uncertainty. I know that's really, really hard, but like try to find that confidence, whatever data you have to be like, okay, this is the information that I have. It'll help you a little bit going in. But yeah, go get them, ladies.
Go get them.
That's it for this episode. Talk soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Work Party. If you like what you heard, follow, leave a review, rate the pod, or slide into our DMs.
Check out the different ways you can create and cultivate on our website, createcultivate.com. From retreats and masterminds to our summits and festival.
We have different experiences to support you through your entrepreneurial journey from launch
to legacy.
Follow us at Create Cultivate on all platforms, and don't forget, work hard.
Party on.
Please note that this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products and services. Individuals on the show may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to in this episode.